Yo, what's up, everyone? I wanted to address something important. Um, we've got close to 50 people in this free community. By the way, I dictated my thoughts to ChatGPT to help me, articulate my thoughts, more concisely, so that I can get straight to the point and not ran on. Since I have a habit of doing that. So anyway, we've got close to 50 people in this free community, and that's been running for about 2 months now. 2 months or three, I can't remember. I want to emphasize the fact that it's free, right? And I paid $3,500 to gain access to mentorship, Scarface's mentorship, and I chose to share what I'm learning here without charging anyone. And that alone should tell you how much I value what I'm trying to build here. But here's the truth: the lack of activity and transparency has been disappointing. This community wasn't created to be a signal group. I never intended for people to just sit back and watch either. The whole point was for each of us to share our journey, that share your highs and lows, share your feelings, your fears, your wins, even if it's $10 or $25 a day. Share what you've been learning from mentors, content creators, or even tools that help you improve. But right now, it feels like only a handful of people are engaging, while the rest are just spectating. And that's not what this community is about. We should be walking this road together, learning, applying, and celebrating progress side by side. Instead, many of you are letting fear, doubt, and hesitation hold you back. And if you joined, it's because in that moment you wanted change. You wanted to take steps toward a better financial future. But the truth is, most of you have backpedaled on that decision. And here's the reality: the economy isn't getting easier. Inflation keeps rising, costs keeps rising, jobs aren't keeping up. And if you're not building new skills or finding ways to grow, you're going to be left behind. Now, I've already shown how you can start small and still make progress. And this isn't about an 85K win. It's about building consistency. So $10 today, $10, $10, $10, 15 tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Stacking those small wins until they grow into something bigger. And that's where the real change happens. So I'll be direct. All right, this isn't a spectator group. If you're here, be here. Post your results, your thoughts, your struggles, your wins, big or small. Ask questions. Share what you're learning. Help yourself and help others by contributing. I'll continue to move forward with or without participation, but I'd rather see all of us succeed together. That was pretty much the goal. I wanted to make a community that, my intent was to have a community, a place where we could grow, be transparent, and hold each other accountable. But I'm not seeing that's what's happening. And when you think about this too, um, we make it we make it what it is. All right. So if you're not finding value or getting value from the group, then it's because you got to ask yourself, what are you bringing to it? What are you doing, to it to make it less valuable or more valuable? And it's the same in anything else, right? Like, so if you have a family, what are you doing? What value are you adding to it? If you feel like your family is whack, what do you bring to the table? Because you can't just point the finger at the other members. If your friendships, whatever relationships you're in, or your job, or whatever the case, if you don't like it, you can see that it applies across the board. So this community is going to be what everyone makes it to be. And if the majority of us don't make it the thing, then it won't continue to grow and become more valuable. And that's just the reality of it. And so here's a few things that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow in Monday's, not tomorrow because tomorrow's Sunday, but in Monday's pre-market. I wanted to talk about a couple of things: scams, power, decisions, and patterns, and in the context of trading. And so really quick, like, just I'm gonna touch on like the scammers, right? So we got people in the space. There's been reports of this person's a scammer. These people are not really traders, and so forth and so on. And just like I share with people that I don't know these people. They're on the internet, for crying out loud. Like, you don't know me. You just seeing me on the internet. But here's the thing that I know, because I'm 46 large, and here's what I've learned is that if you're offering me some information, then I can go apply that information and see if it works or not. And that is what I've done. So whether Scarface trades or any other trader that, I might recommend or talk about, whether they, are, legit traders or not, I was discussing the information that I've learned from them. I'm sharing the information that I've learned and applied myself and shared transparently those results. So those of you who've been following me in this community, if you've been paying attention, you've seen both my highs, and my lows and my highs. You've seen my wins and my losses. You've seen my actual broker statements. You've seen me take, suffer drawdowns, significant drawdowns. So, and I've been talking through those trades because it wasn't the information, it's how I'm trading. It's the decisions that I made during those moments. And I've been testing a lot of things. And so, in that trial and error, you're going to go through those setbacks. And so I was making sure I transparently shared those details so people wouldn't be discouraged. Like, no, this isn't the break and retest strategy. This is me trying, different things. So like you'll see, even in my trading journal, you might see 10 to 15 trades, but these are like really small micro trades that I'm testing things out because I want to do it in real time. And I'm doing this simultaneously with my live account as well as my paper trading account. So, I want to touch on that. I want to talk about power, is in terms of, the ability, your power and ability in the present moment versus the future. Like, so many people talk about what it is that they want, and the distinction is, what are you doing in real time to make that a reality, to make that future you, to get closer to that future you that you're talking about. Because the thing is like, I've been through this so many times with people. We all start at the same starting line, and then all of a sudden I look back, I look to my side, I look to my right and my left, and the people I started with aren't there. And you look back and they've quit. They're laying down, they're sleeping, they're watching TV, they're entertaining themselves and doing all these other things while I'm just, lapping them. You know what I mean? And it's like we should be celebrating side by side, and I'm not seeing that. Like, I'm sharing my results and I'm sharing my successes, and I'm like, well, how come these people aren't in the same trades? Well, how come these people aren't in similar trades? How come they're not sharing or posting their gains or their wins? How come when I'm sharing my losses, how come no one else is sharing their losses? It's like, I don't understand, and so also patterns. Now, because before, one last point on that, the power point is that, it's really frustrating for me to like, I really lack, the patience to deal with folks. And so that's why I'm like, I try to help people, but like, I literally don't have the patience to, to be like, to deal with people that are consistently not showing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that part is difficult for me because it's like, I already gave you the blueprint. Go back and look. That's how I gotta tell people, like, no, I already said this. I already shared this information. I gave you the information. Go back to the videos and watch it. Once you catch up and I see that you're doing the work, then you can come back and start asking, these questions. But if you're asking questions about things I've already discussed, then you got to go back to those. I'm going to refer you back to those, those videos. And I've been uploading this to, the cloud so people can have access to it and learn at their own pace. And it's just frustrating for me, like to be around certain family members or friends or just people in general, and it's like we all start at the same spot and we should be celebrating together, but we're not because so many of them just gave up and decided to quit. And then when they see you succeeding, then they like want to ask you for handouts, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Because that's not me. But you're asking for the handout, but you're not asking for the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that help get you to this point, since you've been slacking all the way back when we started together at the starting line. So why not just ask for the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding? And that's what I've been sharing with people. It's like I'm giving you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding for free. So you can make a change in your life, because this is ridiculous how much money you can make in with trading, and it's direct to you, right? It's not like you got to go to work for it. Not like I working as a software engineer for 10 years, y'all, earning a six-figure salary. That was super stressful, and it's complicated. Software engineering is complicated. This is not complicated. It's not. You know what is complicated though? The hard work in this journey is not the trading. It's the psychology, you being able to get to the point where you're controlling yourself, you're disciplined, you're patient, you're exercising these things, patience, applying discipline, self-control, and so forth, and money management, to be consistent and not allowing yourself to just like lose self-control and just get out of whack and just start making decisions and chasing after money. But if you can consistently just follow the steps and stick to the plan, you will make money. This is this part this is the part that really doesn't need to be over explained, or even it's just like it's not complicated at all to understand. Like, if you just do it. You have to do it though. You can't just sit and look at the screen. Eventually you got to get to the point where you're applying what you've learned. And the fact is that, can I say this one other thing? Y'all know how it feels like, because I've been through it. I worked at the fast food joints. I worked at warehouses. I did all the hard work. Even in the militaries, I was hanging over the side of the ships. Even when we was out to sea moving, I'm hanging over the side of the ship, scraping and painting and doing all kinds of I've been doing hard work for my life, man, like for the majority of my 46 years of living, and I can tell you, I've been through all of that. You know what I'm saying? So can't nobody tell me you don't know what it feels like. No, bro, I came from the streets, from the gutter, from the hood, the projects. Don't tell me, I'm not gonna sit back and let people make excuses, in my face, talking about, oh, well, I can't do it because of this. No, you're not doing it because you're choosing not to do it. Let's speak the truth here. Let's be transparent. You're not doing it because you choose not to. And you're not successful. You're not where you want to be because you are making decisions. There's 24 hours in a day. There's 8,700 plus hours in a year. You can't look at that data and tell me that there's an excuse for you not to arrive at your destination. So I don't want to hear it. You can keep talking about what you want all day long. And when I hear people say, oh, I want this, I want that, but they're not willing to put in the time and the effort to get there, it's all cap, man. So that's the real scam. It's really not the people who are making the moves, these people who are out here showing you the data, being transparent, and getting paid. They're not the scammers. It's you people that's the scammers. I'm not saying you in particular, those who are watching this. I'm just saying it's the people that's sitting back on their couches watching TV all damn day. You know what I'm saying? All damn day. Going, being entertained, scrolling through social media endlessly just to be entertained, looking for those dopamine fixes. You know what I mean? It's those people that's the scammers, because you try to act like life, and when you see people, making money, you like, that's a scam, because you didn't want to put in the time. Bro, stop it. It's frustrating to me. Like, and then when people find themselves in a bind, then it's just like, oh, they want to reach for handouts. Yo, the government is not going to save you, especially not Trump's government. He ain't looking to save nobody. He cutting programs. So if this ain't a wake up call for many people, like he trying to cut Section 8, all of those government funded programs, he is pushing to end them. So you won't be, those of you or the people that know or have family or friends that's on that, man, them programs are probably not going to last for much longer. And they're going to be cut suddenly before you even get to the point where you can get a chance to get off of them, and that's going to be the really, really sad and unfortunate when you could have been making a decision in 2025 to set yourself up for success. And lastly, I'm going to say this. When you think about a job, right, we all have been through it, right? And you go to a job, you're trying to apply for a job, right? You're trying to learn and develop this new skill, and you see a job that you're interested in, and or a career path that you're interested in, and you're trying to go get a job in that career path, right? And then they're telling you, oh, well, you don't have the experience. You don't have the experience. And you're like, well, wait, how does that even make sense? How can I get the experience if you don't give me a shot? Like, a job has to give me a shot for me to gain the experience. How else do I get it? Otherwise, I'm just learning in theory, right? You read the books, you read, whatever, wherever you learn it from, that's how you get the skill. But how else do you get the skill if the job isn't willing to hire you? That is the part that really literally makes no sense to me, man. But this is how they treat us. This is exactly how the world treats us. And they say, well, you don't have the experience. Well, if you give me a shot, I get the experience and I show you that I could do this, but they won't give it to you. But here in trading, you don't have to wait for nobody to give you a shot. You can practice all day long, real time, with paper trading, risk free. Where else can you do this in the world? You don't need for them to give you a shot. All you need is to create a brokerage account, and they will give you the shot that you're looking for, because they're going to give you money in a paper trading account so you can trade the markets live and in real time. All right, so you can get that experience, journal those trades, and learn from that data. 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. And man, it's just unfortunate. So I didn't plan on making a 20-minute video. So anyway, I'm just gonna end this. But this is what I'm planning on talking about. I'm gonna go over my trades. Because this will be Monday will be the day before the last day of the end of the month. So I'm gonna go over my monthly journal results for September, and then talk about my strategy, because I'm gonna show, like, I took everything that I've been learning from my two mentors from Chris Sain's community and Scarface Trades. And I modified it slightly because it's still the break and retest. And these are things that they've been taught. If you've been watching any of their content, they talk about these things. And so I applied a combination of everything that I've learned from them and practiced it in the paper trade side of things. And once I saw that it was succeeding, because if you look at my paper trading account is 500,000 right now. It's crazy. If I did every single trade that I did in my paper trades, I'd be up 500 racks right now. But I'm up modestly because, the difference between paper trading and live trading is it's not your money, So maybe most of those decisions would have been like, because there were many aggressive decisions, like many aggressive decisions. But you got to be more, careful and protect your capital, man. You can't just jump out there. And so for me, it was like, all right, I like that this is winning, but I need to see this happen consistently for a year. If I see that, then I'm gonna, continue to do this. So I'm scaling gradually over time. So I'm just like, let me make this small modification, apply it a couple of times, see how well it works, and if it works consistently, then I'll implement it. Oh, okay, this is working on the paper trade side of things. Let me try it on the live trading side. All right, so that's why you guys are seeing the results. And so I'm going to show you one quick demonstration on what I'm doing as far as the modification that I made, because it's a break and retest. Same thing, using, the opening range, whether it's the pre-market, previous day high or low, 5 minute, high or low, 15 minute, whatever the opening range is. And then breakout, retest in either direction, up or down, because you see I'm making money in either direction. It doesn't matter. All right. And then uh, what I've added to that is because I hate losing money. All right. I need y'all to understand this. I hate losing money. I did not get into the game to lose money. And so while other traders like Scarface and Jack, they'll sit through those pullbacks, I'm not having it. I do not want to sit through those pullbacks. I don't want to see, I want to reduce my drawdown as much as I possibly can. So I look to modify their strategy slightly. And that's why I added the scalping technique to the break and retest, because if you notice, you'll see those candles. Let me just quickly show really quick on this time frame. If I go to the 1 minute time frame, zoom in, right? If you look at this, if you look at these candles, let me show you this. You can see on this candle, look at this move, right? The low was 426, the high was 430. That's a $4 move, all right? That's a $4 move. So this is on the 1 minute candle. This is a 1 minute candle. So these candles, as I'm paying attention, if you're studying the charts, you're going to see this. You don't need a course to actually see this, but it helps, right? Because if somebody can just point it out to you, it helps. But if you're studying these charts, you'll start seeing this yourself. And this is something that I was seeing as I was learning from Jack, from Scarface, from Curtis, and Chris Sain's community. I'm like, yo, I'm seeing, a dollar plus move on these candles. So why do I need to sit through these pullbacks and through consolidation? Scarface and Jack, they'll sit through this consolidation until it taps them out, right? Until it breaks below some certain key level. But for them, that's a $3,000, $5,000, $8,000, $14,000 drawdown. I'm not trying to see that. I don't care how much money I have in my account. I'm not trying to see those type of drawdowns. I don't care. I don't want to see nothing greater than $1,000. I don't even want to see that. I really want to keep it within $300 to $500 on any particular drawdown, on any trade. I don't want to see it greater than that. And so you can see that whether it's to the upside or to the downside, I'm scalping. I'm using a break and retest, making sure that there's potential for continuation, but I'm scalping the majority and scaling out. I'm scalping within that one candle, that 160-second candle, and I'm taking everything all at once. So, right, if I go in 20 cons, I'm taking 19 of them joints, or I might just exit the entire position of 20 cons, right? Go in at 20 in that same candle, right? So in this candle, right, I see a break, I'm going in 20 cons here, and then I'm getting out right before it close. So that's how I can get $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, or I might go 40 cons, but I'm getting out as soon as the candle closes, as soon as it closed. But this is the potential. That's why I'm showing you guys, like, I'm scalping within one candle, and then if we have continuation, I wait for let's say to the downside, right? So we have this breakout, retest, get in, scalp, right? And then I'm out, right? I'm not sitting through this consolidation and through this pullback. So when I see we break another level, notice this candle, we started here, but we closed here, but we didn't continue to break out below this low. And I wait for this candle. I wait for this candle, right? So then I jump in, scalp it. Scalp it. This is a $1 move. So 40 cents, a 40-cent move. If I catch half of this candle, I've been calculating this. If I catch half of this candle, that's 40 minutes. For 40 cons, 40 cents a con, yo, that's why I'm getting, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, because that's just math. It's just math. But I'm gonna get out. Because look at this pullback. Look at this slight pullback, right? We opened here, almost came to this point, and then we closed here. And then we might have some more continuation. So I'm like, I'm not going to wait to see what the market is going to do. I'm going to jump in when the market is doing something. So when we have this move right here in this candle, I'm jumping in. When we have this candle right here, I'm jumping in. When we have this candle, I'm jumping in, but I'm closing. And then I'm going to wait for more continuation. If we like this, look, this is now the new support or resistance level or support level. If we break below this support level, I'm going to wait for an aggressive candle, right? Weak price action. It wasn't a lot of weak price action, and look how we came right back in to that key level. So that's what I'll be talking about in Monday's session. So I'm gonna talk about that and talk about those key points, and then leave it at that. So didn't intend for this video to be 25 minutes, but hopefully you guys, those of you who are interested, this will be the most valuable 25 minutes you'll probably get from me personally. But let me know if you have any thoughts or questions or whatever in the Discord. All right, y'all, it's your man Ace. I'm gonna sign out right here. Till next video.